Welcome to another episode of Don't Panic Geocacher. My name is Arjen and I go by Waterfan5 on the geocaching.com website, and I'm here to give you yet another trick of how to solve mystery caches or how to solve mystery caches faster. Today's episode is about Google Lens and I'll be doing a lot of screen sharing. So in YouTube, please put your streaming definition to high definition. That way you can see exactly what I will be. Now, as I mentioned, Google Lens is what I'll be talking about, and this is a tool that is useful for many geocaches when you try to solve them. And it's almost so much of a help that you may, in certain cases, almost consider it cheating because of how helpful it can be solving puzzles for you. So this will work on any device. So you can use this on your laptop, like I will be doing for this video. But on the phone, certainly Android phones, Google Lens is integrated in your system. But also on iPhones, there is either tools very similar, or you can use Google Lens on the iPhone by using Chrome browser. So you can then use it as well, and you can do the same tricks that I'll be doing here in this video. So let's get started. I will use a couple of my older mystery caches as an example of how this tool would be helpful in solving. So here's the first one of four examples. This has to do with images. Um, Whenever there is an image and you need to identify the image, whether it's a certain symbol or maybe whether it's a certain object that you need to identify, Google Lens is a great way to do that. So the way it works in a Chrome browser is I just right click on it. I can say search with Google Lens. It will bring up a little overlay and I can resize that and I can bring it to a specific image. Now in this case, it will do a little search and it basically talks about in Ingress, glyphs are part of a game called glyph hacking, and it will basically tell me where these symbols come from, that they come from a game called Ingress. Can actually select the whole part and it will just do a whole big search and it will give me some information of it. So now you have identified what these symbols are and you can start the decoding process. In a little bit it will now be that you can go to Wikipedia pages or other pages that will be the index of what they are. So very useful for recognizing just certain pictures. Now, here's another example. Uh, in this case, a very tricky puzzle that is very hard to solve. It uses something called regular expressions. But you see here, this is an image. So if you want to play with this, you would have to type in all this text, which of course, because the way it's formatted, it's pretty hard. But again, Google Lens will help. I'll say right click, say search with Google Lens. I can go to the specific piece of text that I want and it's site. So oops, go a little bit further. There we go. And you see that it actually has just typed out all the text. So I can now just copy and paste it to my clipboard. Even better, it actually gives me an explanation of it is. It says it is a regular expression. So it has identified it for me. And it tells me how it should be interpreted. So still a lot of work to do in this puzzle to solve it, but it gives you some ideas of what you need to do right away. But the most important part, I don't have to manually type this out. I can literally just copy and paste the text and now put it, for example, in an editor and just paste the text in there and can continue working from that, right? So I've saved myself a bunch of manual typing work by just using Google Lens. Here is one more example. So we could use it in multiple ways. So let's say that we need to identify uh, what this is, right? So I can take part of the picture and then I just do a search and it will tell me, oh, this is from the movie Thunderbolt. This is a movie poster, right? So it will identify right away so I can just zoom it. In certain cases, there might be restrictions. So especially with people, it is sometimes like recognize it because it says like help for people search purposes. They won't always let you search it. But if it's like clearly like something that is from a poster, then will let you do again. Now, this doesn't only work in this way. So this is when you, for example, need to identify things. Um, but for example, here we have these characters, and we saw earlier that it can recognize characters. Well, this works actually internationally as well, right? Um, so if I go to these characters, I can actually just again zoom into the area that I want, and it will recognize. Is you see that it now has the copy text function here. It will say here that I have it will translate it for me, so it actually becomes that it is Google Lens, that it is Operation Thunderbolt movie, and so the same thing. But I have copied and pasted it, so for example, I can now take this text and put it into Google Translate and have it translate for me in case that the translation of Google Lens wasn't enough. So again, very easy, even with international characters. Doesn't matter what it is. In most cases, it will simply recognize it. So here's another one. This is a word search puzzle. Um, so we see here the word search text. But let's say that this was a bunch of text and I needed this. This is just regular copyable text, right? So that's pretty easy. I can copy it over and I can do something wherever I want to utilize it in, put it in a Google search, do whatever I need with it. But this part is a picture. So it's not so easy to copy. But let's say that I needed to copy this text for whatever reason, right? It could be because I wanted to reorder it because I think it's a cipher, or I needed to count something. I wanted to know where all the letters E are in this puzzle. I can do two things. I can start manually typing this, or I can go to Google Lens and it will just allow me to copy all the highlight. It might be hard to this. That within, I can just copy it across, and you see here it has all the text right here copied across. I didn't have to type in anything manually. It's there. Now, because these days everything is like connected to AI, it will immediately start saying, "Oh, this is a word search," and it will start trying to find specific words. And so you see here that it actually has identified the words in here and where they are. It says, "Oh, the word motorway is in here. The word petrol is in here," and it will tell you where they are. So this is why I mentioned in certain cases it's almost cheating because it will help you find and do this word search here without having to do anything at all. It has basically solved the word search here to a large extent for you. Now, especially if I go here all the way, and so now it becomes super easy. So what I'm doing is basically say, oh, with Google Lens, I'm not only giving it part, but I'm giving part below as well. So I'm saying, okay, this whole part. Because in here it says what you need to do. It says you have to find the American words and the English. And so it says, oh, I can do that. And it will basically help you translate the English words. And so it says, oh, the words that you're looking for are these words, right? And it will now again just not only do that, but also tell you which English words it are, and so on. So it solves it much further than you initially expect. So that was this episode. Please subscribe. That way you get notified about any future episodes and you will learn more tips and tricks of how to solve mystery caches or how to solve them faster. If you have any feedback, please comment. Feel free. You can also contact me. My name is Arjen. I go by Waterfin5 as I mentioned, and you can also email me on the email address listed here on the page. With that, thank you very much for your time and looking forward to seeing you again at the next episode.